In the previous class, we learned about the European explorers like Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama, and the Europeans like Portuguese, Dutch, and the Britishers came to India for trading. Today, we are going to learn about why the French came to India and about the Battle of Plassey and the Battle of Buxar. The French. The French established the French East India Company in the year 1664 CE. The first French factory was established in Surat in 1668 CE and then in Machilipatnam in Andhra Pradesh and Puducherry. It is formerly known as Pondicherry. The governor of the French East India Company was Joseph Francois Dupleix, who had the desire to expand the European rule in India. Thus, the French and the British stood in competition against each other to become the strongest European company. For the supremacy over India, the three wars were fought between the British and the French that are popularly known as Carnatic Wars. The first Carnatic War in India was in between 1744 to 1748, in which the French won a series of victories over the British. The Second Carnatic War was in between 1749 to 1754, in which the British won. The British, led by Robert Clive, was the able commander of the British army, defeated the French at Arcot. The war ended by forcing the French to sign the Treaty of Pondicherry. The Third Carnatic War was between 1756 to 1763, was a decisive win for the English. It established the English supremacy over the French in Indian subcontinent. The French ambition of building an Indian empire was crushed by the British. However, the French retained their control over the trading centers of Puducherry, Mahi, and Chandranagar. It is in West Bengal. The British trade in Bengal. After receiving the permission to trade in Bengal from Shah Jahan, the British first started their trade on the banks of the river Hooghly. Hooghly is in Kolkata and established forts in the year 1651 CE. The forts were garrisoned for the protection of the factory and got the permission from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to trade without paying taxes against an annual payment. The British rule expanded in India between 1757 CE and 1857 CE. By then, the East India Company was in a race to earn more and more money. As per the order passed in Bengal, only the company availed the benefit of tax-free trading. However, many company officers misused the free pass, that is, the thugs who engaged in private trade did not pay the taxes as well. As a result, the income generated from the tax collection in Bengal reduced, which in turn was opposed by the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, and then Ali Vardi Khan. After Ali Wadi Khan, his son Sirajudullah took charge. He got involved into a major battle with the British. Battle of Plassey in 1757. Sirajudullah became Nawab of Bengal in the year 1756. He wanted to check the misuse of dastaks by the company officials and stop the company's effort to extend the fortifications of Fort William and Chandarnagar. The British helped the competitors of Sirajudullah by conspiring against him so that he would not remain on the throne of Bengal. There were frequent conflicts with the British merchants regarding payment of taxes. He ordered that the British should not fortify the factory, pay the taxes as per the rules, and trade as per the terms and conditions. But the British refused to do so. Enraged by this, Sirajudullah attacked Calcutta, imposed a crushing defeat on the company, and compelled the British officials to surrender. The British counterattacked under the leadership of Robert Clive. Clive bribed Mir Jafar, who was the commander-in-chief of Sirajudullah, with a promise to confer the throne of Bengal to him and convinced him to join their side. With the help of Mir Jafar, Robert Clive defeated and murdered Sirajudullah in the Battle of Plassey in 1757. This was the first war fought by the company in India, which marked the beginning of the British rule in India. Thus, this war is considered to be a turning point in the history of India. Next, Battle of Buxar in 1764. As promised, the East India Company appointed Mir Jafar as Nawab of Bengal. However, the real power went into the hands of the company. Robert Clive went back to England. With the passage of time, Mir Jafar became hostile, means unfriendly, towards the British. He refused to grant further trade privileges to the company. Thus, the company decided to replace Mir Jafar and installed his son-in-law Mir Qasim as the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Qasim was an efficient, disciplined, and clever ruler. The problem arose between Nawab and the company on account of non-payment of taxes, which ultimately brought both the forces face to face with each other. He dismissed all the officials of Mir Jafar who were close to the company. He trained his soldiers in new methods of warfare with the help of the French. Since he could not stop the company officials from carrying out duty-free trade, he abolished the duty on all internal trade to help the Indian traders to survive. He also shifted his capital from Murshidabad, it is in West Bengal, to Munger, it is in Bihar. Mir Qasim's steps angered the company, who decided to get rid of him. In 1763, Mir Qasim was defeated by the company, but he escaped. The Nawab of Bengal, Mir Qasim, reorganized his army along with the forces of Nawab of Awadh Shujaudullah and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. The company forces, led by Robert Clive, defeated combined army of Mir Qasim, Shujaudullah and Shah Alam II in the Battle of Buxar. Buxar is in Bihar in 1764. The British East India Company won this war, that is the Battle of Buxar, and all of a sudden Bengal, Awadh, it is in Lucknow, and Mughal Empire was under their control. That's how the East India Company, that is a trading company, emerged as a political power in the subcontinent of India. The result of Battle of Buxar was in 1765 the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II signed a treaty with the company at Allahabad. Under the Treaty of Allahabad, the company was granted the Diwani, that is, right to collect revenue of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. In return, to Shah Alam II, the company paid an annual amount of 26 lakh rupees to Shah Alam II as pension. Shujaudullah got his territory, that is Awadh, back after paying the war compensation of 50 lakh rupees to the company. The British stationed an army at Awadh on the pretext of providing protection, and the Nawab was to bear its expenses. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal once again, but enjoyed only nominal administrative power. The Diwani allowed the company to use the vast revenue resources of Bengal. The company could be used this revenue to purchase cotton and silk textiles in India, maintain the company's troops, and meet the cost of building the company's forts and offices at Calcutta and other possessions in India. The company did not use this revenue to make any improvements in India. Here, complete the lecture of your first lesson, the arrival of Europeans in India. In the next class, I will be giving you the question answer of this first lesson. Thank you.